Hey, in this video, I'll be talking about how to access higher intelligence by tapping into the superconscious mind. So higher intelligence is really the intelligence that creates worlds, and we all have access to it. So if you can learn to channel that into your own life, think about the implications that would have. But you have to become a channel for it. You can't almost manipulate or use it to get what you want. Being a channel for it means you allow it to use you for whatever it wants to do through you, okay? So there's a clear distinction here. We can't tap into this to just make me a millionaire or whatever, some egotistical need. No, you just have to become a channel for it. Everything great that was ever created on this world, in this world, come from higher intelligence, higher levels of creativity, because the people who created them become a channel for this higher intelligence. And that's really what I want to share with you here today, is how you can become that channel, tap into the superconscious mind, and maybe create something magnificent for the whole world. So the first thing I want to talk about here to help you understand this is that there's 3 levels of mind, okay? The first level of mind is our ego, our limited sense of self, I. That part of us that we're all familiar with. Most of us are very much caught up in our ego. We can't see anything outside of it. It's that part of us that makes decisions, that willpower, the part of us that thinks it's in control, even though it might not be, but that's the part we're all familiar with, right? Very limited part of our whole self. Then we have our subconscious mind, which is this middle circle here. And this is obviously all our conditioning, all our programming, all our traumas, all our karmic stuff, and even genetic stuff, which really influences how we show up, okay? Has a huge impact on our ego. And I think most of us understand this. In fact, most people on the planet are just living on this level. They are just the sum of their past experiences and the programming they've received so far, okay? However, what we are concerned with here is that there's a higher level. The higher level is the superconscious mind, okay? As you can see, that's why I've drawn it, greater or bigger than these two. In fact, this is so big, it's unlimited, it's infinite. But I can't obviously fit something infinite on this piece of paper. But that is what this is representing. The superconscious mind is pure consciousness. Pure consciousness is also our true self. It's what everybody is at their core, whether you are aware of that or not, okay? Pure consciousness is the foundation of everything that exists, everything that has ever existed, and everything that will ever exist. You cannot experience anything without consciousness. So we make the assumption that objects and things exist, and then we just become aware of them. But a lot of spirituality would actually say that objects don't exist until someone's aware of them. It's the consciousness that makes them real, okay? And so every single person experiences this at the foundation of their being. When you do spiritual work and quieten your mind and emotions, you can experience pure consciousness and pure being for yourself. That is higher intelligence, okay? That is unlimited organizing power. If it's the foundation of every single thing that has ever existed and will ever exist, that means it created worlds. It created this world. Think about how mysterious and magical this world is. There's night and day. There's all these seasons. There's just plants and creatures and animals and us. And we've got these amazing bodies. That stuff, all of this stuff is super, super intelligent. Human beings could never create it. Yeah, we take it for granted because we've known it for so long. But it's magnificent. And if consciousness, because it is the foundation of everything, it means it created everything. If it created all this crazy stuff, miraculous stuff that exists, think about the level of intelligence that is present within it. And guess what? We all have access to that intelligence because we are all it. So understand that the whole world is built on this unified field of consciousness, which is pure intelligence. That is what we talk about when we say the superconscious mind. Every single creative thing a human person has done, all the greatest inventions and great human feats have all come from the superconscious mind. Okay, and like I said, because we are consciousness essentially, we can all access it. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you how you can access it, but you need to understand this part first. Okay, pure being, awareness, consciousness is what you are at your foundation. That foundation is what created everything. You tap into that, you have similar capacities as that consciousness. So this graph I wanted to show you now is meant to represent a scale of consciousness. Okay, it's getting a bit cramped on here, but just bear with me. Familiar with David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, 0 to 1,000, that represents the scale for human consciousness. As far as I'm aware, consciousness is unlimited, the scale is unlimited, but humans, we function within a certain range. Based on Hawkins' scale, that's between 0 to 1,000. I'll put it on the screen here quickly. And so we can influence our own personal level of consciousness. Wherever you're at now is what you experience your life as. For instance, one of the lower levels on Hawkins' scale is the level of fear, which I think is about 125 or thereabouts. And imagine this is the level of fear. This is consciousness measured by some type of frequency. So if you're resonating on the level of fear, maybe due to past conditioning and past life stuff and traumas, your consciousness is resonating on that level. Therefore, your consciousness will use infinite intelligence and its organizing power and creativity to create a world that is quite fearful, is to make you experience yourself based on the level you're vibrating at. Okay, it has to be this way. The world will naturally almost morph into whatever level of consciousness you're at. The level of consciousness will literally create the reality that you are resonating at. I hope that makes sense. So to really change your life, you just have to raise your consciousness. I know I say just raise it because it's not that easy for some people, but yeah, that's effectively it. You don't actually need to focus too much on law of attraction and working on manifesting specific things, in my opinion. You just raise your consciousness. So if you go from fear here and you went up to, I don't know, gratitude or something, which is about 400. So you raised your frequency to there, you would naturally see things that you'd be more grateful for. What would that look like? You'd probably see more of the things that you want in your life, right? Simply because you raised your level of consciousness. And that new level, the intelligence there, would naturally create whatever resonates with that level automatically. Your life will just shift. Okay, so the name of the game is just to raise your level of consciousness, because the infinite intelligence and the organizing power of the superconscious mind will take care of everything else. Okay, so how do we do it? How do we raise our consciousness? How do we connect to the superconscious mind? I would suggest, and something I'm talking a lot about in my recent videos, is silencing your mind. Okay, thoughts, especially negative emotions, is like interference. Okay, when you're thinking negative thoughts or you're stuck in negative emotions, you've lost connection with your true self. You've lost that connection to the superconscious mind. Okay, it's interference. So practice quietening your mind. I have a video on how to silence your mind. It's something I'm going to make more videos on because it's just so important. It's probably one of the most important spiritual topics, I think. One of the most important skills that you can learn is to silence your mind, okay? And when you can just sit in silence, no thought, no negative emotion, what you need to do then is start to practice embodying positive emotion, right? Again, this is something I talked about recently. I'll link that video up here as well, on practicing heart-centered emotion. Your heart is your connection to higher intelligence. It's your connection to your spiritual self. So when you begin to embody heartfelt emotions, love, gratitude, happiness, joy, whatever, you begin to interact with higher consciousness, with the superconscious mind. And just by you doing that, you will raise your consciousness. Okay, so that's simple. I think the challenging part is for us to quieten our mind down. But the good news is we have enough consciousness, human beings do at least, that we can influence and we can change our consciousness. We can increase it by doing the work. And that's very, very empowering, because no other creature on the world can do that. So we are blessed in a certain way, but also we have a lot of negativity, and animals, as far as I know, don't really experience that. So we have this double-edged sword. We get the bad stuff, but we also have the opportunity for real greatness. Okay, I do also have another video on the superconscious mind. I filmed about 10 months ago. I highly recommend you check that out. I'll link it up here and at the end of this one, because in that one I do talk about the same topic but in a different way, and the two will really build on each other. But this is so important to understand. By increasing your consciousness, higher intelligence will transform your life. It has to, just based on the level of consciousness you are at. Because like I said, it's what creates your whole reality, everything that exists. Increase it, reality will shift and change automatically. At least that's what I believe, at least that's what I see. That is everything I have to talk about in a video. If you have anything to add or any questions, hit me up in a comment. I do really enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, if you could please go ahead, give it a like, share, subscribe. Really helps me out. Check out my book if you haven't already, link in the description. But until next time, remember to keep living free and being free. Peace.